team number 9. I'm Scott, this is Charles to my left, and this is Kate to my right. Today we're going to talk to you about Chapter 4, Craft the Content. Okay, outline what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk to you about how to gather your information, ways to generate your ideas, and how to organize your content. Charles is going to show us how to open the presentation, how to organize the body, and how to close. Kay is going to prepare us for question and answers, improve our listening skills, and how to deal with the back check. And lastly, Charles will close us off by summarizing everything we talked about today and read us the quiz questions. Starting with the information that you know. Let's start with strategy. You want to list everything that you know about the audience. If you're an expert on this topic, you can skip this part and you can wait till the next slide where you start drafting your presentation. If you're not an expert on your topic or audience, you need to focus on your general purpose as you explore content. You can do this in 2 ways. You can either do a data dump or a mind map. A data dump is simple. You just jot down everything you know about the topic and what you want to include in your presentation. A mind map is the same thing as brainstorming. It's written down in front of you with branches, the image right here. Anyways, mind map is good because it helps you collect and focus your information. Once you're comfortable with the topic, it's time to start generating content. The best way to do this is tell personal stories, knock-knock jokes, and fun facts. At some point, we have to stop collecting information, generate ideas, and actually start our presentation. Okay, drafting a presentation. You see our mind map that we just created. What is it that you want the audience to think, do, and feel? In other words, what are you trying to accomplish as the presenter? Some focusing tools that you can do. You can either nutshell your information, meaning just summarize it into a couple sentences per topic that you want to talk about, or you can do an elevator pitch. I like this elevator pitch because you just imagine that you have an audience attention for just 90 seconds. And in that 90 seconds, you have to give them your pitch. You have to answer these 4 questions. What you want to cover in your topic, why it is interesting, why it's worth exploring, and what you're recommending. Once you have all your content, you want to list your main sections in the presentation, like you have up top. And then you want to form it into an idea chart. On the bottom, you have your main sections, and you connect them to your main points, and then you connect that to your overall recommendations statement. We can use that today as an example of our project. The bottom here being the topics that we talked about to you today. The middle row being my name, Charles, and Kay, and then top being our speech presentation today. Now that I have highlighted how to gather information, generate ideas, and organize your content, I'll pass it off to Charles to tell you what to say in the presentation.
Thank you, Scott. So decide what to say. Let me repeat this one more time. Decide what to say. We're going to have a presentation is like a document. It has to be repetitive and clear. One more time. Repetitive and clear. Now everybody heard that? I'm very clear with it. You'll have 3 parts to that. An opening, a body, and a closing. Decide how you will open. You have to set the stage. You have to grab the attention of the people. Now, you can do this by 2 ways. A common way is a question, like what Scott said, or a fun fact. I'm going to do both to do as an example. Would you guys like to hear a question? Yeah. Thank you. Raymond, that's a yes. And a fun fact. Here, MLK won a Grammy for the best spoken word album. I didn't even know that. That's a fun fact right there. Now, another technique you can do is do a joke, a knock-knock joke. Oh, thank you for that. And always include a preview. Now, within this preview, you will have 2 ways: direct and indirect. The direct way is more of a benefit of a presentation. An indirect has 2 topics. Then you will discuss the presentation. Second, plan a well-organized body. Now, in the well-organized body, there's 2 things: a tell presentation and a show, which is going to be in the next slide. For a tell presentation, there's 3 topics: a topical, a time-based, and a contrast-based. A topical-based is how you have three reasons why you're doing it. A time-based has a previous, a current, and a future. A contrast-based has a list of topics. So if you're going to do, say, a diet, you're going to list out what food you're going to get, what time you're going to work out, what type of things you're going to do in that workout. So that's a list. Second, a self-presentation. Now in this presentation, this guy right here, being very persuasive. So they focus on persuasiveness. Now, within this self-presentation, you'll have four things: a topical, a importance-based, a space-based, and a problem-solving. Now with the topical, it's a survey. So you get a survey, get a lot of people's, I'm guessing, opinions. And then importance-based is how you prioritize. How you prioritize is going to be how, like building an IKEA bed or a furniture from IKEA. A space-based. Now a space-based is more of a presentation with having a company. How you can maximize that space. With that space, you have the opening of a space, and then you need a solution for that. A problem solving is you have a problem and you have a solution. Plain and simple for a presentation. Moving forward, you will have to go through one station to the next. Now within this topic, you will have explicit transitions. Now this explicit transitions is not going to be a cuss word or something profanity. But instead of saying secondly, or finally, you will have more listing for that. Or take a look back. So for instance, I just said with Scott, oh, you focus on how have more techniques. You're looking back. When you're looking forward, I will say, oh, when Kay is about to present, he's going to talk about future Q&A. And then determine how you will close. When you determine how you close, there's two ways: an informative and a persuasive. The informative is the examples I said with the tell presentations. For the persuasive, it is the show presentations that I've listed, not in here, but what I said. Okay, now I'm going to present it back to Kay, and he'll talk about more of the Q&A questions.
Okay, thank you, Charles. I'll be talking about how to prepare for question and answers. So when you prepare for question and answer, you have to think about the interactive moments when the audience will get questions. You have to decide when to take questions. You can hold the question for the end, just like we all have done in the current event presentation, or you can take the question throughout your presentation. They both have pros and cons, so finding out what the audience expects and think about what you prepare beforehand will be a good approach. And always value the audience question and think of it as a compliment, because it will create the right tone for question and answers. And practice responding. It's always good to practice what the audience will be asking by posing common questions or unexpected questions and negative comments. Robert Bolton breaks listening skills into three clusters of behavior. First, look like a good listener. Second, encourage participation. Third, paraphrase the question you are asked. To look like a good listener, you have to make sure to maintain posture of involvement, make good eye contact, and create an environment suitable for everyone. Encourage participation by the floor for questions. Use open-ended questions. They cannot be just answered yes or no. And paraphrase the question. Paraphrase the question helps people feel heard, prevents miscommunication, and controls the interaction. And you should always clarify what was asked. Do not use vague word or create such a long sentence. Effective responses help you accomplish your objective. In order to stay on message, use powerful techniques such as bridging, which connects your response to something, or flagging, which draws your attention to your most salient point. And balance brevity with interest details. With this, you make your responses more interesting, brief, well structured. And furthermore, keep everyone involved and paraphrase the hard to hear questions. And always listen for challenging questions. And when a question is unclear, use an I response rather than you response. There are some examples of limited questions which involve forced choice, hypothetical, empty chair, loaded language, and false premise questions. So try to avoid those types of questions. And when you don't know the answer of a question, don't bluff. Just say, I don't know, or suggest where the person can find the answer, or offer to get the answer yourself. And when you deal with difficult or hostile audience members, try to control the situation without letting the confrontation get personal. There are 4 types of hostile audience members. First, pontificators. Second, nitpickers. Third, needlers. And fourth, distractors. And when you deal with them, try to be polite, lessen hostility by agreeing and pointing to common ground, paraphrase the feelings behind the question, and stop repeat offenders tactfully, and look elsewhere afterward. Lastly, audience members can interact through back channel such as Twitter and Facebook. And back channel is what audience members might be using to chat online during your presentation. So always consider the pros and cons before you use it, because it can give you another way to connect, interact with your audience, but it can also distract their attention. So if you decide to use it, make sure you control your back channel. Yeah, make sure you control your back channel. Now that I highlight how to prepare for question and answers, I'm going to pass off to Charles. And he's going to summarize what we have covered so far and read the quiz questions.
So for the summary, Scott has already told you how to gather information and generate the ideas. For me, I actually did the opening, body, and closing, how to prepare it. And Kay actually showed us how to prepare for Q&A and also improve skills within the final process. Now, here's the quiz. Number 1, your blank is crucial. 2, name two of the three. Determine what you already know steps. Number 3, presentation structure needs to be blank and blank. Number 4, your presentation contains what 3